The Far Cry series has recently gone on a massive downfall, from making really good games into making okay games. Not right to how Retribution grade of bad, but still not bad but not good. With the more recent games like Far Cry 6 and Far Cry 5, and not to mention New Dawn. But we won't be mentioning those games. Instead, this will be talking about 4 versus 3, while sometimes mentioning 2. 2 and 3 are the best games in the series. There's just no competition. But before we just talk about why they're so grand and so good and the best games in the series that completely throw the rest into the garbage can because 3 and 2 are the best games in the series, I'm sorry, they just are. Alright, let's start this properly. The most important part of any game ever made. The user interface. By user interface I mean also the HUD and the skill tree, the crafting system, everything in the user interface, even saving. Now Far Cry 4's user interface is a tab-based user interface, which obviously would make it more confusing. Meanwhile, Far Cry 3 is a more simplistic design, with the pause menu having your skills, crafting, and your loot rucksack. Now, the rucksack is one of the most important parts of Far Cry games, as it contains all of your loot, which can be leaves to make syringes, skins for animals for you to kill. So obviously you can make way more holsters. And the Far Cry tradition for holsters is the maximum you can make is 4, which I think is a perfect number, especially for an open world game like this. And crafting in this game is really important, so it's also really important that you need a really good interface. With counting how much of something that you need to craft something, I think Far Cry 3 does this way better. And in Far Cry 4, you have to count how many of what item you need to make something. That's like with maybe boar skins or whatever. And with the menu of selecting what you want to do, I think Far Cry 3 does it way better. As if you go to pause menu, it instantly has everything. Your loot rucksack, skill tree, and crafting. My only problem with this system is you have to go into gameplay, press M to get up the map. Meanwhile, it can just be there with everything else, which is actually a pro with Far Cry 4, as it bunches everything up in the tabs system. Which sure, tabs is a really bad system since there's like 1,000 tabs there. But hey, at least everything's there, not just a couple things. Everything just instantly comes up with the click of a button, which is very useful. Especially when you're in the middle of action and 1,000 guys are shooting at you and you're low on health and need to craft a syringe. Because healing without a syringe is 1, not as good, and also 2, takes way longer. And it especially works really well when you're playing on hard mode. On the Far Cry 4 that is, which is equal to master difficulty on Far Cry 3. And yes, I do play these games on their hardest difficulty, thank you very much. Alright, on to the hard part, which is the most important out of everything in all of these games, other than everything else we just mentioned. It's a Far Cry tradition at this point to have the health bar right next to a mini-map. And obviously that means since Far Cry 4 has a cubicle mini-map, the health is cubicle too. And the Far Cry 3 has a more circular mini-map. So obviously that means that the health is circular, going around the mini-map a bit. Since you get shot once and then you lose an entire slot of health, it's important for a slot system to be there, which is why it's Far Cry's tradition for there to be a slot system. When you start a Far Cry game, your manual health only heals 1 out of 2 health slots when you originally start the game, and the syringe heals you entirely. And when you fully complete Far Cry 3, and get all of your health slots and fully buff your health and stuff. You heal 3 slots manually without a syringe, and you heal all 6 with a syringe. Just like how you fully do the same thing early game, but both like 3 times the health you had in the beginning. So let's go on to the next part, gameplay. Far Cry 3's gameplay is way better than Far Cry 4. Like, oh my god. The shooting feels way better to do, and game behind cover also feels way better. Probably because I played the game on keyboard and I played Far Cry 4 on a controller, which obviously would make the game a bit more slower paced, but Just going for a walk in Far Cry 3 is fun compared to Far Cry 4. And Far Cry 4's campaign was so bad to the point where I'm like, screw this, and instantly go to a map browser and play user-made maps. Also, one thing to say about the user-made maps in this game, why do so many people like to play this game and make it impossible for them to die? No, seriously, every single map you can find has it so you're invincible. Like, why even play the map if there is no challenge, if there is nothing that can kill you? Like, if you load up something like, I don't know, Nuketown, it instantly loads you in, and like, you find someone's creation of Nuketown in this game, you play it, hoping that doesn't say invincibility, because you actually just want to chill and kill some enemies. But no, they all have invincibility on, which is just really annoying. Alright, I'm getting distracted at this point. We need to talk about the game itself, the campaign, the mother of the game. One part of these games that I actually find really important, the mother of the game, the greatest part of Far Cry 4, the only part of the game that I actually enjoy, outposts and fortresses. The only new addition that I actually noticed that's any good is fortresses. These are basically mega outposts. They're all pretty difficult to conquer, especially on hard mode, but boy is it worth it. They're so fun to get through. Like, you begin every single one by throwing a grenade at the door, and then you just go behind cover, realize, oh no, there's 1,000 enemies here and a bunch of heavy gunners, and then you die. It's incredible. So then you actually have to plan it out. It's amazing. I love it. It's incredible. It's really the only excusable part of the game. And getting killed really quickly actually makes you have to think, okay, how am I going to enter this outpost? Okay, good idea to me. We need to sneak through the back. So you climb up some rocks, sneak through to the back of the fortress, and then realize, oh, there's a couple enemies here. Okay, we'll have to be a bit sneaky. Get through, destroy some of the alarms, and then brace yourself that you'll be able to survive the incoming onslaught of enemies. You gun down a couple of them. You survive for 5 minutes because you had to run down to the bottom of the area, and you have to hide around in every single corner because this heavy gun is chasing you. Be careful. And you have to actually strategize and realize, we need to quickly run up here, heal again, heal the 5th time, heal the 6th time. Okay, now we have to get this sniper rifle off him because, we died. So we take the sniper rifle off him, and then we take down all the heavy gunners. It is so rewarding. Oh my god. And then you realize, we still have 100 more enemies to deal with. So then you run on the top of the little area at the top, run through, and then you realize, there's 5 people there. So you take them down, and then realize 5 is a lot more than you think, and then instantly get killed again, killed 5 times, but if you're lucky you don't die then. and you stay up there for a bit. A couple chargers try to charge at you, but you kill them before they get to you. And then some snipers flood the area, and now you have to take out a bunch of snipers. Then you realise, oh wait, I only have 2 weapons holstered, so I can't do much. Oh my god, I'm going to die. So then you get killed when you're busy healing when a charger charges up behind you. That's happened to me, and that's why I love it. It's so fun to conquer. Even though I failed to raid the fortress, it was still really fun, and that's why fortresses are so good. They're really the only redeeming part of the game, and even though fortresses exist, Far Cry 3 is still far, far better. Or they just say far, far better, because it's Far Cry better. Anything you do in Far Cry 3 just feels way better, honestly. And the story? Oh, the story. Don't even get me started on it. It's incredible. I'm not going to mention it in this video. I'm not going to tell you the story, because we're just doing the technically versus match between 3 and 4. We're not going into stories here. We're talking about gameplay and HUDs. Even though Far Cry 4 tells you the difficulty of each outpost, which is totally ridiculous, like it tells you how many alarms are in each outpost, and it tells you, oh yeah, this outpost is an easy outpost, this one's a medium outpost. They're both outposts, and difficulty doesn't even matter. They're both challenging on that difficulty. So yeah, obviously, but you can tell Far Cry 3 is far better. Shut up. Yeah, Far Cry 3 is way better than Far Cry 4. It just feels way better overall. Map of Far Cry 3, it's a perfect size. Its size is like 7 kilometers, which is actually really good for an open world game. You just walk around, chill around that 7 kilometers between each 2 islands in the campaign. It's relaxing. Just going around, chilling, vibing, going to the outpost, shooting up everyone in the outpost, leaving, going to another outpost. You know, just chilling.